Hi, this is Yannick here, and you're welcome to the Musicians Lab. Today I'm going to show you my top 5 chords that you can easily apply to any chord progression and make them sound good. And we're starting right now. This chord is an A chord and can also be considered as an inversement of a F chord. And this is called a F major 7 sus2 chord. So if we consider A as the root, then we're going to have A minor flat 13 or A minor sharp 5, if you want to call it this way. So if we consider it as an A chord, then we will have A minor sharp 5, or if you want to call it A minor flat 13, and this is how this chord is built. So we have the root, which is A, okay, and then we have the sharp 5. So we have A sharp 5, which is F. We have the minor 7, and we have the minor third, and then we have the fifth, which is E. Root, sharp 5, or minor 13, or flat 13. We have the minor 7th, minor third, fifth. Now, if you want to consider that chord as an F chord, we just need to add the root. And then we have an F major 7 sus2 chord. And it's going to be just the same chord, but this time with the root. So we're going to have root, which is F, the third, the root again, the sus2, the fifth, and then the major 7th. So now we have now where can you apply this chord? In every tonality, you can apply this chord in position of 1 or in a position of 3. Let's say in the tonality we have 7 degree, okay? So you can apply this chord on the 1, okay, or on the 3rd. So in the tonic solfa system, we can say you can apply it on Do and Mi. So let's say if I am in A, I can apply the same chord on either the 3rd or 1. So when in the chord progression we have 1, I can replace that 1 with this chord. So if you don't want to take that much time, if you don't want to wait on the 1, let's say we are playing a song that has this progression, for example. Okay, 1, 2, 2 bar. And then we go to the 4th. You see? So every chord has 2 measures. So what we're going to do, we don't want to spin 2 measures on 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the first measure for 1 and then the second for the 3rd. And that is where we are going to apply our chord. So we're going to have something like that. So it's quite simple. So this is how you can use this chord in, every progression where you have 1 or you have 3. So you can play it on 3, you can play it on 1, and it works great. Let's move to the next chord. Our second chord on the list is an open chord. So it's an A chord, okay, that has a couple of open strings, and it sounds really, really, really good. So let's just get the chord. This chord is an A chord, and it is A major ninth chord with a major 7, of course. It is made of the root, the third, the fifth, the major 7th, and the ninth, okay, or the second, if you want to call it this way. So we have the root, which is A, okay, the open string of A, and then we have G sharp, which is the major 7th of A, and then we have the third, which is C sharp of A, and then we have the fifth, let's say the major 2nd, so which is a B, the B open string of B, and then the fifth, which is E. So we have well, if you can see on the board, you can clearly see chords here in this window. So you just have to follow the chords here, and you'll be able to exactly play what I am playing here. So this chord of A major 7 sus 2 is made of the root, the major 7th, okay, which is G sharp, okay, or A flat, and we have the third, which is C sharp, and then we have the major 2nd, which is the open string of B, and then we have the fifth, which is E, the open string of E. So that will give something like that: 1, major 7, third, 2nd, 5. Or you can stress a little bit on the major 7th. So in case you want to emphasize on the major 7th, you can take the major 7th here on the last string, which is the B string. So that will sound like this. Or you can just leave your fifth here and then take your major 7th here. So that will be. Okay, now where can you apply this chord? You can apply this chord on the 1 and the 4th. So let's say if our tonality is A, we can apply it when playing the root, which is A. For example, we have a chord progression which is made of 1, 3, 4, 5. We can apply this chord on the 1. Let's say when I play 1, instead of playing the A major, I'm going to play my, that chord of A major 7 sus. So that's going to be instead of playing the A, I'm going to play a major 7 sus 2. So and then I go to the third, 4. So that's going to be something like this. So that is, basically it. And if you are playing the chord in a 4th position, that means if A is in 4th position, then we are in E, okay? So if I'm playing the same progression in E, I'm going to play 1, 3. So when I get to the 4th, I can play this chord before I go to the 5th. So that's going to be. You see? So. And then I go to the 5th. So that's how and when you can apply this chord, but only that you have to respect the position in which you can play, because this chord can be can sound really, really, really great in the first position, like let's say in the root position or the fourth position. It works totally great. So if you respect that, you'll be able to apply this chord and in almost every progression where you have 1 and 4. So let's move to the next chord. This chord is called a minor ninth chord. So how did I play that chord? I played the root, which is B, the fifth, which is F sharp, the minor seventh, which is A, the minor third, which is D, the fifth again, which is F sharp, and then the ninth, which is C sharp. Okay, so we have root, fifth, minor seven, minor third, fifth, and 9. Or you can also get the ninth here. So that's going to give something like this. So how did I play that chord? I played the root, I played the fifth, I played the ninth, the minor third, the fifth again, and then the ninth again. So where can you play this chord? In a major tonality, you can play this chord on the second and the sixth position, which means, for example, if I'm in A and I am playing a chord progression of 1, 2, 3, and 6, which is 3, and then 6. Okay? So which means when I play 1, getting to 2, I'm going to play my minor 9 chord. Okay, you see? So 1, minor 9, and then 3. You can play that chord on 3 because diatonically there will be some few alteration there. So we don't want to play that chord on the 3. So we're going to play it on the second, okay, where you can apply a Dorian mode, and we're going to play it on the 6th where you can apply a Aeolian mode. So 2, minor 9, and 6, minor 9. So you can apply this chord on the second position and the 6th position, and it sounds really great. This chord is a B dominant 7, flat 9, sharp 5, or you can call it a B flat 9, sharp 5, but it's a dominant 7 chord. So a dominant 7 chord, okay, with a flat 9 and a sharp 5. So let's check the notes. We have the root, the major third, and the minor 7th. Okay, so the root, which is B, the major third, which is E flat, the minor 7, which is A, the flat 9, which is C, and the sharp 5, which is G. So we have and where can you actually use this chord? This chord is a dominant 7 chord, and dominant 7 chords call for the root. And dominant 7 chords can also be used in both minor and major tonalities. But in this case, this chord will by default work best in a minor tonality because we have a flat 9, and alteration works or resolve most of the time in a minor tonality. So playing a B dominant 7 flat 9 chord will resolve in a minor root. And since dominant chords are built on the 5th position of the tonality, which means this chord is going to call an E minor chord. So if you are yet to know what dominant chords are, I have a video on that, so you can go check it out, and I will leave the link in the description below. Now, the chord progression we are going to play is in a major tonality of G. And you know that in a major tonality, the 6th is minor, and our 3rd here is B. So the chord we are learning right now. And then the B, since the B is a dominant 7 chord, is going to land into the minor tonality of E. So on the E minor chord. So what we are going to play here is first 4, okay, and our chord of B, which is the 3rd of G, but the 5th of the next chord. You know, dominant 7 chord are built on the 5th. So if B is 5th, then it means our root, our next chord is going to be an E minor. Okay, so what I'm going to play is 4, 3, and then 6, which is E minor, and then second 13. So that's going to be my chord progression. So I'm going to play something like that. So let me break down this progression, okay? I played 4, which is C major 7. And then the next chord, which is the chord we are learning right now, which is the B flat 9 sharp 5. Okay? And then we go to the next chord, which is our E minor. So the B chord we are learning is the 5th of the next chord, which is E minor. And this applies to every key. For example, if we are in the key of G minor, okay, the 5th is going to be a D. And we are going to apply our chord on D here. So we are going to play a D dominant 7, flat 9, sharp 5, before we go in G minor. And if we are in G major, we can also apply this same chord. I mean, in jazz, it works. So we can apply the same chord on D, okay? D dominant 7, flat 9, sharp 5, and then I play my G major 7 chord, okay? Plus a 9th addition. So yeah, just because I want to make it sound, you know, a little bit better than, you know, a major chord. So yes, that's it, man. You can play this chord best on the 5th position of either the major tonality or the minor tonality, but by default this chord will work best, will work great in a minor tonality, which means after playing this chord you need to resolve in a minor tonality. But in jazz, sometimes you can borrow, you know, this kind of harmony to the minor tonality and still resolve in a major tonality. I hope you understand it. This is my last chord on the list for today's video, but not the least. This is a very, very powerful chord, and you know, great sounding chord that takes all the 6 strings on the guitar to make this chord sound so great. So how did I play this chord? I played the root, which is E, the 5th, which is B, the major 2nd, which is F sharp, the major 3rd, which is G sharp, the open string of B, and then the open string of E. So we have something like this. This chord is a major chord, which means you will apply it on a major position in the tonality, which means you can't apply this chord on second position or third position or sixth position. So what we are going to do, we are going to apply this chord on the first position, the fourth position, and the fifth position. So let's say in so let's first get it in the first position. In the first position, which means we are in E, I am playing, for example, a 1, 3, 4, 5, 1 chord progression. And I will apply this chord on the 1, which is E. So I'm going to do something like this. Okay? So when I play the 1, I play, and then I move to the third, and I move to the 4. When I go to the 1, I can still play the chord. In fourth position, which means we will be now in B. So if I play the same position in B, I'm going to have 1, 3, and when I get to 4, I play this, and then I move to the fifth. So that will be, and then I play. Now in the fifth position, which means that I am in A. So when I play A, and I go to the fifth, then I play the chord. So that will be, okay, and it works very, very good. Well, we are at the end of our video, and I hope we had a great time together. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found this video helpful, subscribing to this channel will be just awesome. So make sure you hit that subscribe button there and the bell icon so you don't miss any video from me. We have a Facebook channel also, which is The Musicians Lab, and awesome content there as well. Until our next video, take care, peace.